Hello everyone and welcome back to the video. Today we're going to be doing episode 4 of our Road to 2K guide, where I'll be talking about military and early game slash basic strategy. In the last two episodes, they were very important to develop our booming skills, our economy, and also get to 200 pop with a fully upgraded army. This is really important as the backbone of our game plan. However, this episode we're going to be moving on to Arabia, which is the most played map on the rank ladder and definitely the map that you're going to have to get comfortable with, because that is the map we're going to base our rank journey to 2K on. It's the most played map, and it's the one that basically tests all your skills as an Age of Empires 2 player, besides pure water gameplay. But water is more of like an only term thing, or it's not very popular on the rank ladder, so it's not too important. So understanding and learning how to play Arabia is absolutely key. Arabia is completely opposite to Arena. Arena, you start with the stone walls and it's a defensive map, at least for the first 15 minutes. On Arabia, it's the complete opposite. You're wide open. If you want to make walls, you have to make them yourself. You don't start with any of them. And you have to fight with army from the very start of the game. Because if not, if you just go for like a fast castle and you want to make your economy, your opponent will attack you and the game will get really, really hard. So with that in mind, we're going to go ahead and hop into a game against the hard AI. And I'm going to go ahead and pick the Berbers for this episode. I think the Berbers are a very beginner-friendly cavalry civilization, and I often recommend cavalry for beginners. It's a little bit easier to use than archers and infantry, and in my opinion, it's just a very strong, unit to use. The knights, kind of like an all-purpose unit. It's very easy to understand what is countering our knight. We die to pikes and camels, so if your opponent is on pikes or camels, we switch to something else. If he's not, we can continue making the knight. Pretty simple. So when it comes to playing the game, in this episode, we're not going to have too much theory, but I will show you guys a few things. So when I go into the tech tree, you pick your civilization. I'm showcasing the Berbers, but feel free to pick any civilization you want. I'm just showcasing a different one every episode. We're going to take a look at our bonuses quickly, just to know what we want to play with. And we also will quickly take a look at our tech tree so I can show you guys the options we have available. So Berbers have faster moving villagers, which helps your economy and helps on defense, which I like. Our stable units cost less in Castle Age and Imperial Age. All stable units, that's quite good. Remember, not in Feudal Age, so it's only Castle and Inn. And your ships move faster. This will not help us for Arabia. Unique units are Camel Archer and Genitor. We're not going to worry too much about them. Unique techs, it gives our castles working faster and our camels regenerating. Not going to worry too much about that either. And our team bonus is having Genitor. So really, the only two bonuses we're going to be using in this video is villages moving faster and stable units costing less. We could use our unique units and maybe our team unique techs, but it's not my initial game plan, and I'll show you why in a second. Taking a look at our tech tree here, it's very easy to read it. So we don't have Arbalest, so our archer line is only good to Castle Age, alright? So we could play them, but in Imperial Age we have to do something else. Hand Cannoneer we get, Heavy CA we get, and Elite Janitor we get. We're only missing Parthian Tactics for the Heavy CA. So in this case, when you're looking at the range, we have a lot of good options. We have everything in Castle Age, and we're only missing one or two options in Imp. Going to the barracks, we're missing Gambesons, and we're missing Halberdier. So champions are good, but pikeman line is not very good. Alright, just keep that in mind. Champions are also missing Gambesons, so they're not that good. So infantry is playable, but not amazing. Stable units, all of these come at a discount in Castle Age onwards, and we get everything except Paladin. Very good, so we'll play towards the cavalry. Siege, we get everything minus Siege Ram and Siege Onager, so it's a decent siege tech. And Blacksmith, we get everything. This is huge. We get all the upgrades in the blacksmith. Most civs do not get this, by the way. Do not get every tech available to them. But this is why I like the Berbers for beginner-friendly civ. So you get to play fully upgraded cavalry. And if that's not enough, we get to go into skirms or anything else that's also fully upgraded from the blacksmith. Then you can take a look at your navy, which you have everything, which doesn't matter. University is a bit more complicated. Monks, a little bit more complicated. So we're not going to focus too much about that. But the main one is just knowing what you have available in terms of the three main units. So archery range, barracks, and stable, and I guess siege workshop. So the four main units. All right. That's the important thing to understand before going to the game. All right. Now talking about basic strategy. Now the game gets really complex. You can go like archer rush early. So in feudal age, you can go archers. Then you can switch over to the knights. All right. That's a very viable game plan. You can mix archers plus spearmen in early game. You can make men at arms then archers. All of this is so complicated. So what do I like to do to simplify it? Instead of having to memorize all these different strategies from the very get-go, I recommend you just keep it really simple. We get our bonuses from the stable. So in this game, I want to play on the stable line. I will go, if I want to play in Feudal Age, Scouts in Feudal Age, then Knights in Castle Age. I also have Camels and Light Cav if I need to. Light Cav to counter Monk and Camels to counter other cavalry, alright? So this is a very simple and basic game plan that we're going to employ in this game. And if our opponent makes pikemen to counter our knights, Then we're going to go ahead and switch when we see the pikeman into something that counters the pikeman. Against the pikeman, you have something like elite skirm or crossbow that does well against it. If you're not sure about what counters what, you can just go ahead and read what it says here. So it says weak versus ranged soldiers and infantry, and you can just make what those tell you. So infantry like longsword, or ranged soldiers like these three options, or maybe even scorpions. So you can read in the game, and if you still don't know, that's where you can go watch YouTube videos where I or some other YouTubers will explain the counter system to the highest degree. So that's basically it for the first episode. We know our game plan. We have berbers. We're going to go into the cavalry. We get a discount on cavalry. We have a good tech tree for the cavalry. And if we run into pikemen or anything that counters cavalry, we're going to tech switch into something else. We're not going to mix 10 different units. It's going to be one tech switch. But our main plan is cavalry, keeping it nice and simple. And for this episode, I also want to introduce something else. I'm going to introduce my builders. Now, builders, what are they? They are just something to help you get as efficiently as possible from point A to point B. And in this case, the first 10-15 minutes in the game. It's really complicated to know how to get from Dark Age to Feudal Age, but these builders are meant to simplify it. Obviously, there's a ton of different strategies here, as I showed you guys earlier, but we're going to go ahead and pick the most basic one. As you can see, the 25 plus 4 Vils Night Rush is deemed a beginner strategy, and it's the only one here that's truly for beginners. But there's a few other ones that are, more or less simple as well. Now, I offer this sheet entirely for my Patreon members in the $5 tier. So if you guys want to check it out, you can definitely check it out on my Patreon. You also get a video tutorial for every strategy. So there's like 25 strategies. You get the PDF, and you also get the video tutorial. But for this video, I'm going to just show you this one. So this is our PDF. Feel free to pause and take a look at it. I'm going to have this on the side. I will use my own builder to help me get started here. And it also tells you what to do beforehand and what to do afterwards. All right. So let's go ahead and read the introduction, and then we'll go ahead and hop into the game. So this is my only pure beginner builder. This is meant for low level players or new players just learning the game. I'll keep it simple and easy to use. It's not a good builder as you climb, but it should be very effective for the first 100 games. The point is to have an easy to do dark and feudal age and look to get to knights as fast as possible. Hey, that coincides with the berbers very nicely. That is the best unit for new players, generally speaking. I firmly believe that, and I have a video about that on YouTube as well. At the end of the build, we will cover some nice options to defend yourself and talk about how to beat pikes and camels, the main knight counters. Exactly what I'm talking about in this video. Alright, so after the builder, we're going to read these 4 things, but for now, we're not going to worry about them too much. We're actually going to pause the builder, or pause the game, look at these mid-game. It's going to be nice, alright? But for now, I'm going to go ahead and move these to the side. And we're going to keep those on the side so I get to keep it and use it while I go ahead and play the game. So that's going to be the builder we use for this video. Now, as you can see, it's a very beginner-friendly builder, and it's going to help us get to Castle Age as fast as possible. Now, what does it mean 25 plus 4 Vils? It just means that before I get to Feudal Age, I'm going to make 25 Vils. And then when I get to Feudal Age, I'm going to make 4 more Vils in Feudal Age to get to Castle Age. This is going to give me a good economy, and this is going to help me set up my knights. All right, so very simple game plan. Again, this is basic game plan. Get to knights. With berbers, they get a bonus and good texture for knights. Let's hop in. Alrighty, so first step on the builder is to make 2 houses to start. Seems pretty basic. And there's also some general rules we want to follow. Like, we always want to make Vils from our town center. This is a very basic thing, and I talked about it in the last couple episodes. That's the one thing we're going to really focus on. So in this video, I will go ahead and try to have 0 idle time from my town center. All right. Next, you get to scout with your sheep if you want to, but because it's a basic video, beginner video, we're not going to scout with the sheep. Remember, the map is Arabia here, and the opponent is a hard AI. So all we got to do is try to simplify things as much as possible. All right. So 6 villagers to sheep is the first idea, and we're not going to go ahead and lure the deer. All right. We're not going to take the deer. If you have chickens and you want to take them, if you want to take the deer, feel free to do so. In this beginner builder, we're going to only rely on the berries, which we get in every single Arabia game, all right? So 6 Vils, all right? Very simple, 6 to food. I'm playing as slow as possible here, only making sure I'm maintaining Vil production. Next 3 go to wood, so I'll pick a lumber camp. This one looks good. There we go. And I'll make a lumber camp. I'll pick a lumber, sorry. Oh, there we go. Look at this. Take a look at more sheep. Now, if you want to make the scouting pattern easier, you get to shift queue a little bit. And that can help so you don't have to click the scout so often. Alright, take a look at what I'm doing. I'm just making sure that my next Vil is going to the right place and that all my villagers are working efficiently. And I'm making sure that I'm always making Vils. I'm playing very accurately. This is actually a perfect start so far, but I'm playing very slowly. This is to take away the myth that you need to be a fast player to play a good Dark Age or play a good Age of Empires. Completely wrong. Alright, I'm going to just continue scouting my map. Continue making villas. Next one, we're going to go ahead and get the boar. This is optional. You could get loom before you go ahead and take the boar. I don't think you need to do that. But if you are a true beginner and you need to get loom, loom makes your villagers tankier, so you don't lose the villager. You hit it once, you run back. Alright. Next vill will go to send one vill to make a house and berries. And we just take the boar. How do you take the boar? You just garrison. Then put the flag on the boar and ungarrison. Simple. One hand I did it. Make a house with the hotkey like I taught you. And we go towards the berries. Keep making vills. Next vill will be one vill to hunt under TC. Oh, and I said to build 2 houses. Oh, that's smart. Making it more beginner friendly. Good job, Hera, of 6 months ago when I made this build. Alright, after one vill to hunt under TC, we're going to drop food here using the drop off hotkey, which is A. We're going to use that a lot. I'm going to go for the second board. Alright. So continue scouting if you want to. There we go. Bring in the second board. I'm going to do it the exact same way. Put it far away. Click far away. Take all your vills. Hit the elephants. Garrison the vill. When the elephant is underneath your TC. And then put it back onto the board. And there you go. Always drop food. Make a vill. Super simple. As you can see, super simple. I'm not clicking many buttons. I just know which buttons to click, and hopefully after this video, you're going to know the exact buttons to click. Once you've found your 8 sheep, which you get, your 2 boar, which you get, you can go ahead and go scout your opponent. You can also auto-scout if you're getting overwhelmed and you can't actually control your scout. So in this video, I'll just go ahead and auto-scout just to make it a little easier for us to focus on our economy. Alright, so after this, we're going to go ahead and send 4 more vills to berries. So let's go ahead and send 4 more vills to berries. I think I missed a couple. I sent them to the boar. I was not supposed to, so I'm going to go ahead and send 1 more to berries. Then after that, it's 5 villagers to wood. Okay. And here's what I want to talk about. I'm following this build order. It doesn't have to be exact. If you mess up 1 vill or 2 vills in the wrong spot, who cares? It doesn't matter. The build order is a rubric. It's a guide. It's not meant to be like something you absolutely have to follow or else the game is ruined. Alright, 5 to berries. Now I'll send 5 more villagers to wood. Perfect. These guys just stay on the hunt under the town center. I think I got 1 too many here, so I just send them to wood here. Perfect. I just continue eating the hunt. 5 more to wood. Alright, so I need 3 more. 1, 2, 3. At this point, it says to make a house. Let's make a house. Perfect. And then after that, I'll send 3 vills to gold. Okay, seems pretty basic. I'm just going to continue eating my sheep. I'm making it as simple as possible. But notice I have not idled my TC once. So this is simple gameplay, but it's actually quite good gameplay. Your gameplay will not look like this when you're just starting out. It takes practice, but focus on what I'm doing and try to mimic the habits that I'm pulling off here. So 1 more to wood. And what you can do is just queue multiple vills, so you don't have to always queue 1 vill after the next. It's very helpful for beginners. Alright, there we go. That's 8 on wood now, which is what I want to have. And I should be at 22 vills. It tells you this in the build order, so I know I'm at the right place now. Now I'll just do 3 more to gold. Alright? And then after that, so 3 more, and then I get loom, and then up. I'm just going to queue it from now. Okay, so our villagers on hunt are running out. So what do? This is where we just go ahead and start making some farms. We know how to make farms, because I taught you guys how to do that with the hotkey in the last episode. The basic buildings, I want you guys to learn how to do them with hotkeys. And then once you're done, just put the rest on straggler tree. So I can't afford any more farms. The rest will go to straggler tree. I do want to talk about straggler trees a little bit here. Straggler trees, the one here, you don't use instead of your woodline. You get your woodline, but you use these in addition to your woodline. So when villagers are waiting before making a farm, you put them on the straggler tree so they at least work on something while you wait to make farms with them. So any vill that comes out of your base, out of your town center, and you don't know where to put it on straggler tree, and at least it does something while you wait. Don't put it on the ground here so it stays idle. That is the worst thing you can do. And don't put it on gold, because then you have like 10 vills on gold. Straggler tree, put it there, can gather a bit, then you can make a farm after. Alright, so the perfect landing time is 11:45 in feudal age. Let's see if you hit that. And on the way up now, I'm going to make a barracks and a house. Ooh, barracks and a house. Now, it doesn't matter which vill you take. You can take any vill. But for this example, we'll take a vill from here. We'll make a barracks. All right, right here on the front. Now, don't make it too far forward, and don't make it too close to your base. Usually in front of your gold is a good place to do it. Why? Because we want to set up some walls here, all right, at some point. So here it's optional. Wall up your base slightly to defend yourself if you need to. I think it's a good idea, so I want to wall up my base slightly. We don't do big walls. Big walls are bad. We do small walls, right? And I have a video titled on YouTube. It's called Every Beginner Should Watch This Video, and it's about how to build your base. Very important video to watch. When it comes to walling up yourself, wall up with a mix of houses, palisades, and buildings, like this. Now, when food runs out under TC, make a few farms and rest the wood. Perfect. So in feudal age, we're gonna go ahead and make a stable with 2 villagers. Okay, let's make a stable with 2 villagers. Also, make it on the front, not too far forward, right here in front of my gold to defend myself. All right. Then send 4 villagers to gold. These 2 can go to gold afterwards. We'll send 2 more to gold. And then research castlage. Ooh. Oh, and a market. Ah, market. I forgot about that. There we go. Market. Make stable and market. Perfect. Make market. Make a stable. And the 4 villas that I make will go to gold. So since these 2 will go to gold, the next 2 I'll just put on the straggler tree, which I already talked about, is where you go when you don't have anything to do. So at this point, we should have 7 on gold. So perfect, 7 on gold. And the builder tells you all of this. And we're going towards a fast castle. We're going to wall up our base still. So we're going to make, let's say, gates. Try to build this up correctly after the market. Oh, that's needs to be walled as well. Use this to wall up the back of our base. It's not going to look pretty, but this is how you want to wall up your base. All right, it's a really good example of such. Now, after you make the 4 villas, we're waiting for my market to finish. We're going to go up to the castlage. On the way up to the castlage, we're going to do a few things. We're going to add a second stable, because our plan is to go for knights. Very simple, basic game plan. And we're going to go ahead and get double bit axe and horse collar. And then we're going to fix any idle economy. All right? All of this is written on the builder doc, and it's very easy to follow. So at this point, I really want to wall up my base just to make sure I don't get attacked by any feudal army. So I just go ahead and do that. You can use as many villas as you'd like, but don't use like 10 villas. I'd say like maximum 5 is usually a good way to wall up your base. Well, look a hole. I'm going to patch that up. So what have we accomplished here? With the first 15 minutes, instead of going in to the game with no game plan, we've walled up our entire base. We now have 2 stables, and we're going to work on making knights. All right? So fixed any idle economy. Nothing's idle so far, but the villages, when they finish walling, will be idle, so I'll fix those guys. What does it mean by fix? Just put them to work. And then in castlage, we're going to make knights from both stables, and we're going to go ahead and research bow saw, the wood upgrade. And we're going to keep making villas and send them to whatever we need to keep the knight production up. Very simple, basic game plan in castlage. These 2 are idle. Let's go ahead and make some farms. All right, cool. There we go. And I still haven't found my opponent, but the auto scout will find him by the time I get castlage. And so the game plan here is pretty simple. Go ahead and make knights and keep making villas and putting them on resources that help me make more knights. So farms help me make more knights, which is good. I also need a little bit of gold as well to make knights. At this point, we're going to go ahead and pause the game before castlage starts, and I'll tell you why. Alright, so I'm going to pause the game here. So, a few things. You'll notice I have 7 on gold. That's what the builder says. Do not memorize how many villas on gold it takes to make 2 stable knights. Or how many villas on food do I need to make, 1 TC production plus 2 stable knights. These numbers are not worth memorizing. What you have to do instead is just use pure basic logic instead of memorization. Understanding the theory is better than memorizing the numbers. So in this case, we are making 2 stable knights. Knights cost... Wait. There we go. For berbers, they cost 51 food and 64 gold. For a standard civ, 60 food and 75 gold. So a lot of food and a lot of gold. So in theory, I don't need wood. I need food and gold to make my units. Upgrades from the blacksmith, they cost food and gold. So I don't need that much wood. So the wood I have, I'm going to make farms with it to get more food. And the villas that come out of the TC can go to gold or to farms. So I can get food and gold for night production. If I have excess wood, I get to do the few things that we talk about in the rest of the build order. Going back here. So what's next? So next, we're going to try to spend our resources quickly and continue to invest them. A nice trick is to use the market to help balance them out. Hey, we have a market. This is really good. Keep making knights and villagers whenever you can. Standard rule. Get upgrades on the knights when you can afford them. Bloodlines, husbandry, and blacksmith upgrades are all great options. We don't have a blacksmith, so we'd have to make one if you want to get the upgrades. Expand your base and develop by adding in more town centers. This is something you can do if you have extra wood. We can add in some more town centers down the line. So, perfect. This is the strategy that we're going to employ. Alright, going back into the game, let's go ahead and execute that. So first things first, I'm going to get bow saw. I'm going to make knights. Perfect timing. The hard AI has attacked us. We are walled. If you need to, you can make a tower. If you need to. So this vill builder is very safe. Villas that come out will go to straggler trees, and I'll go ahead and make farms. Now we're gonna work on making farms while we're gonna do everything else. We can't just be watching the military. Keep making knights, and knights are very strong. As you can see, the knights will completely destroy all feudal age units. All right, here we have a problem. I've got too much gold. Use the market. Buy wood, so I can go ahead and make more farms. Let's watch the fight. Knights are cleaning up the archers. Perfect. Keeping the knight production up. Alright, good. Now, as you can see, I have idle vills. But right now, I just won a big fight. So I'm going to go forward and I'm going to attack. A beginner player can't focus on everything. So at this point, it's worth focusing on the attack to get our units into the right place. Alright? If you can, and I talk about this a lot on my Patreon videos in the light cavalry tier, I talk about maximizing efficiency by doing both at once. But for now, as a beginner, focus on the attack when you have a good attack. You want to use your knights to harass villagers, but as you can see, even spearmen we can kill pretty easily. Once you feel like you've done a good amount of damage, take a look back to your economy. As you see, there's a lot going wrong. Make more units to start things off. Fix every idle that needs to be fixed. And if you want to do stuff like making another lumber camp, you can do that. Put the vills here. So I've just fixed my entire economy quite quickly. I also noticed I need to make some houses, so I'll make some houses. Alright, now it's time to go back and focus on my aggression. Avoid the town center. Let's just go back. There we go. So we're doing both at once. This will take a lot of practice. But take a look at the ideas that I'm using here. When I'm fighting, I will watch my army. Alright. There we go. This is beginner advice, by the way. Pro players, as a pro player, I don't do this in the same way. But for beginners, we do this. We just watch the army. Make sure they're fighting the right units. There we go. And okay, now I'm down to 2 knights. I'm going to run them back because I want to take a look at my economy again. When you're looking at your economy, you do the same thing. You queue units until I have no more resources. Then I take a look at my economy. Is there anything to fix? I got 300 wood. It's not that much. It's fine. I'd rather just go ahead and attack. Actually, hey, I just remembered. I want to make a blacksmith. So I want to get some upgrades. So let's do that. There we go. I have 13 food and 14 wood. I don't need wood to make knights. Let's take some off wood and make farms. All right, now, ooh, I got 7 knights. This is definitely worth attacking here. There we go. And again, my knights are on discount with berbers. This is fantastic. Spearmen, we're not scared of. It's a feudal age unit. Remember that. Avoid the TC fire. Keep fighting. This is very basic strategy, all right? Really try your best to mimic this. All right? I'm still fighting. I still have 6 knights. There's no reason to look away because I'm going to kill my opponent's villages here. This is fantastic. I don't want to look away here. Perfect. There we go. Oh, I'm doing big damage here. Big damage. Perfect. Getting a lot of value. Excellent. Excellent. This is fantastic. Getting so much value. All right. Now, you know what? I'm going to just tell them to attack this vill. And in the meantime, I haven't looked at my base in like 2 minutes. So I'm going to go back. I got tons of resources. I'm going to get upgrades. I'm going to get these 2 upgrades. I'm going to get blacksmith upgrades. I'm going to do like, as much as I can do at one shot, I'm going to do. Use the market, make more knights. All right. And then I'm going to go ahead and maybe fix this. And, maybe I'll go ahead and buy some food because I want to get wheelbarrow as well. It's a good tech to boost my economy. All right. So I just did all of that in like a few seconds, and now I can focus on my military again. That's the kind of pace you should be playing at to start things off. All right. Now, 4 knights, getting a bit low. Let me regroup my army. So make more knights. I'll bring those guys to the front. Bring these guys here. But hey, it's another good fight. Let's take it. I got more upgrades coming in, so my knights are only getting stronger. And here's the deal. Hera, why are you making only knights? My opponent does not have a counter to knights on the field. If he does not have a counter to knights, what's a counter? Pikemen and Castle Age. Alright, that's it. Spearmen and Feudal Age, that's not a good counter. So if he doesn't have a counter, I continue making knights. Hey, now I've noticed something. I don't have enough gold. We've got other resources. We have to spend our resources on anything that makes sense. Let's go ahead and make the gold mining upgrade. That makes sense. I got an attack notification, so I'm going to go back and look at my army. Go back to look at my base. Now I want to add in some town centers so I can break out of my walls. This is the part where we expand. We make a town center. That's a good place. It's on gold and wood. That's good. Like in the arena game. Remember the arena games that we played, the first 2 episodes? How we added the town centers? Same concept here. We're just doing it while fighting, which makes it a lot harder, I know. Spend my resources, knights, vills, and you just keep playing like this. Very simple. It almost sounds boring as I'm talking about it in a coaching, in a guide video. But obviously the thrill of the game is doing this yourself, and managing yourself is way harder. Way harder. But that's the important idea. I give you guys the idea, the ideas. I give you guys the, what to do, and you guys practice doing it, and then you can add your own flair. So if your flair is to attack from the side and mass up 10 knights before attacking and then going for 1 sneak attack, then do that. You know what I mean? You can add your own flair to the game. All right, here, these 2 knights. It's only 2 knights. I'm just going to run them away. Actually, you know what? I don't care about them. I'll tell them to attack vills, and I couldn't care less if they die. I don't mind. We're going to use our select all TC hotkey now, and I'm going to make vills. And now we're going to start booming like we did on the arena game. All right, I'm going to spend the next 1 minute just spending my resources and booming. I've decided I don't care what happens to my few knights. I'm going to just get a bunch of vills out in the field and continue developing my economy. I'm still going to get that villa at the back. Remember that villa at the back of my base? I still have it. Bob or Sandy, remember the name? In this case, we got a Bob. Bunch of houses. So I don't ever get housed. Just do this. It's literally so simple. And that's it. You'll never get housed. Make more knights. Spend my resources. I'll sell some wood because I want to get this upgrade badly. There we go. Perfect. And I'm personally using my... Look at this. My select all blacksmith hotkey. My select all market hotkey. And then my select all stables hotkey. Select all TC hotkey. So without clicking stuff, I can select stuff to make villagers. This is really helpful because when I'm attacking, this is the next step. When I'm attacking, I can actually make vills and knights without looking away. So for example, I select my stables, right-click the gather point here, and make more knights. This is insane. This way I get to look at my fight more often while making production. Remember at the start of the game, I was looking back and coming back. This is the next step. All right, so selecting all my TCs, making vills, and making army. That way, when I'm fighting, yes, I don't know what my vills are going to. I don't know what's going on in my base. But at least I'm making units and spending my resources while I'm fighting, which is pretty huge. Now that I've got 3 TCs, don't you agree that I got way more resources? Think of it logically. When I had 28 vills, or 30 vills, I was up to castle, I could afford 2 stables. Now I have 60 villagers. Logically speaking, I should be able to afford at least 4 stables. And my opponent actually just resigned. When I commanded a peasant to hunt a fierce boar, it slew him. No wonder thou wert victorious. I shall abdicate. Yeah, he lost the vill to a boar, so he calls it GG. That's his excuse. He probably lying. But yeah, that's the idea here. So where do we go from this position? I can make 2 stable knights when I was at 30 vills. Now I'm at 60, so I can make 4 stable knights at the very least, right? So I'm going to go ahead and make 2 more stables and make 4 stable knights to continue putting pressure on my opponent. I'm going to build up to 200 pop like we did in the first 2 games on Arena. Build up to 200 pop with fully upgraded units and Imperial Age. But the way you get there is different. The way you get there on Arabia is by constantly fighting. So you continuously make army, and then when you want to get to Imperial Age, all you do is cut production for like 1 minute, go up to Imperial Age, and then go right back to production. It's a much higher paced game, but as you can see, the concept is very, very similar. We want to spend our resources and invest them into other things, except in this case, it's not investing them all into economy, then all into military. It's investing half into economy and half into military. And by the way, this is the absolute basics. Let me give you a hint of what's coming up in the series. As you can see in this game, we went for a fast castle at the beginning. In the next episodes, so next episode, we're going to take on the Extreme AI. I'm going to show you guys how to do army in feudal age as well. Because not every game we can skip to castle age. However, just to start, I think learning this beginner build order, this, fast castle knights, is a really good way to just get yourself from not knowing what to do to have a basic plan to be able to beat the hard AI. All right. And then afterwards, I want to talk about how to expand in the late game, to take the relics in the late game, how to control the hills. All of this is coming up later in the guide. So here's the plan. This episode, we take on the hard AI. Next episode, we're going to take on the extreme AI. Once we beat the extreme AI, in my opinion, we are a 1000 elo player. Once we can beat the extreme AI without cheesing him, mind you, we cannot cheese him. So 1000 elo player, and then after that, I'm going to get a fresh account and play on the rank ladder. I'm going to climb from 1000 elo to 2000 elo against real players, and I will be progressively adding more and more things to our arsenal. In this video, let me know in the comments, but I think I played pretty slowly, but using the same hotkeys we built upon from the last episode. So I'm playing slow, but I'm playing efficiently. I'm not clicking a bunch of different things. I'm not microing like a madman for no reason. I'm playing efficiently, and I'm playing clean. And that's what I want from you guys learning the game from my guide to 2K. Alright, hopefully this video was helpful. Make sure to like, comment, and subscribe, and recommend this series and this guide series to a friend. Really helps me a lot. I put a lot of effort into this, so definitely make sure that you recommend it to other people to help them out, and definitely make sure that you watch these videos once, twice if you have to really understand what we're talking about. And if you guys want my build loader guide, again, it's all on Patreon. The $5 tier gets you the PDF build loader with all the strategies. You can go through them if you want, get a bunch of different strategies, and I add a new one every month. And then you also get a video tutorial for every one of these strategies. I highly, highly recommend it if you can afford it. The Patreon is fantastic for improving at the game. It's way better value than any coaching or just trying to figure out yourself. If you can afford it, this is definitely the way to go to learn this game. And I try to keep the prices as reasonable as possible. And then if you want a little bit more, I recommend you check out the Lightcalf tier and the Hussar tier on Patreon with extra perks. Lightcalf tier gives you a bunch of exclusive videos on like high-level in-depth topics where I give all my secrets and help people improve. And then the Hussar tier has a private Discord with me and my Hussar tier patrons where you get to ask me questions 24/7, literally whenever you want about Age of Empires, and I answer them. I don't know of any other player that offers in any game a service like this, but I'm here to help you guys out and help you guys improve. And it's at your disposal. If you guys want any of these services, check out the Patreon link in the description below. And as always, like, comment, subscribe if you guys did enjoy the video, and I'll see you guys in the next guide episode in about a week's time. Take care and peace.